Nintendo has officially entered its
We're not mad, we're just suing era.
again. Apparently, Japan's patent office took one look at Nintendo's latest original invention and said, buddy, this already exists. In other words, Nintendo tried to patent everything with monsters and got told,
Monster Hunter did it first.
so the question is, when did it all start? Well, it started when Nintendo and the Pokémon company decided that Palworld, yes, the meme game where Pikachu picks up a freaking gun, was infringing on 3 of their creature capture patents. Because when your company's mascot is a yellow rodent worth more than most countries, you've got to protect your intellectual property from those filthy indie developers with ideas. But here is where it gets beautifully ironic. The Japan Patent Office, not a fan forum, not a YouTuber, the actual government just rejected one of Nintendo's core patent applications for lack of originality. In other words, even the bureaucrats are like,
Dude, you can't claim to invent monster collecting. It's been around since cavemen drew monsters with names.
So today, gamers and gamerettes, we're diving into Nintendo's crumbling Palworld suit, the rejected patent that might tank their case, and why it's starting to look like Nintendo's legal strategy was designed by someone who's never played a video game that wasn't Pokémon Red. Let's set the stage, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2024. Palworld has taken over the internet. People are capturing adorable critters, crafting bases, and yes, occasionally committing mild acts of animal-assisted war crimes. The internet apparently calls it Pokemon with guns. Nintendo calls it grounds for a lawsuit. In September 2024, Nintendo and the Pokémon Company filed a joint patent lawsuit against PocketPair, the developers of Palworld, claiming that 3 of their patents were infringed, specifically JP7493117 covering creature capture mechanics, JP7545191 expanding on how creatures are switched or summoned in gameplay, and JP7528390 about right switching systems.
Also known as when your Charizard is tired and you hop on a Gyarados instead.
Sounds fair, right? Until you realize every game from Monster Hunter to Ark Survival Evolved to No Man's freaking Sky has done some version of this years before Nintendo's priority date in 2021. I swear to God, if you really think about it, it's like trying to patent bracing jump to go up. Fast forward to late October 2025 and Japan's patent office drops the mic. They reject Nintendo's application number 2024-031879, calling it unfreaking original. They even cited prior art including Monster Hunter 4, Ark Survival Evolved, Kantai Collection, Craftopia, it's PocketPair's own earlier game, and Pokemon GO, which means Nintendo got owned by their own franchise, legally. Now, the rejected patent was part of what's known as a patent family. It's kind of a family tree, except everyone in it argues about who invented the freaking wheel. The rejected one was the child of JP7493117 and the parent of JP7545191, meaning this wasn't just a side quest, it was a key building block in Nintendo's entire lawsuit. By striking it down, the Japan Patent Office essentially told Nintendo,
You didn't invent monster collecting, you just monetized childhood friendship with better marketing.
And guys, that's freaking bad news for the lawyers, because now PocketPair's defense can argue that if this key patent isn't valid, then the rest of Nintendo's complaint starts looking like Swiss freaking cheese. So, Nintendo has 60 days until December 2025 to appeal or amend, which is lawyer speak for
Try to make the same argument again but with more PowerPoint slides.
Here is where things get freaking hilarious. The Japan Patent Office didn't just reject Nintendo's patent, they roasted it with references. They basically told Nintendo in their face, hey, remember Monster Hunter 4 released in 2013? That already had creature companions and ride switching mechanics. Also, Ark Survival Evolved, which was released in 2015. Same concept but with dinosaurs and more emotional damage. And Kantai Collection, literal gacha ships you summon and switch, which was released in 2013. But this was the bomb that nuked their freaking head. They casually dropped PocketPair's Craftopia, which was released in 2020, and they were saying,
You're suing these guys for copying themselves?
Even Pokemon freaking GO, Nintendo's own game, was cited as prior art. Guys, that's the patent equivalent of being told you copied your own homework wrong. What this means legally is it's devastating, guys. If so many aerial games already had similar mechanics, then Nintendo's claims of originality fall apart faster than a Joy-Con drift freaking lawsuit. It's also a bad look for Nintendo's reputation, because for years they've been swinging lawsuits like Pokeballs, sometimes hitting, mostly missing. Remember when they tried to claim people couldn't stream their games without paying into the Nintendo Creators Program?
Well, that went over as well as a Magikarp on freaking land.
Now with this rejection, it's not just about Palworld, it's about the pattern. Nintendo seems less like a guardian of creativity and more like that one guy in group projects who insists he did all the work because he held the pen once. Analysts like Florian Mueller, one of those guys anyways, from Games Fray even called this rejected patent a key building block. Without it, Nintendo's whole patent family might face scrutiny because if the child patent lacks originality, the parents and the siblings are now on shaky legal grounds too. They're basically trying to build a legal Death Star and the patent office just found the exhaust port. Meanwhile, over in the Palworld camp, PocketPair is probably doing the legal equivalent of a Fortnite dance. This rejection doesn't, directly end the lawsuit because the rejected application wasn't one of the 3 cited in court, but it does give PocketPair something huge: ammunition. Now, their defense can say, hey, even the government doesn't think Nintendo's inventions are original. That's not just a solid argument, guys, that's a meme waiting to freaking happen. PocketPair's defense strategy was already to question the validity of Nintendo's patents. They've already argued that monster capture, riding monsters, and swapping between them are genre mechanics, not inventions. And honestly, they're freaking right. If Nintendo could patent catching and riding animals, then Red Dead Redemption would owe royalties every time Arthur mounted a freaking horse. And plus, guys, one of Nintendo's other core patents, which is JP75283990, the ride switching system, is already under amendment. What this means is Nintendo already tried to rewrite the patent while the lawsuit was happening. You know you're losing when you're editing your homework during freaking grading. Now guys, mind you, amending a patent during litigation is extremely rare. It basically delays a case, forces re-examination, and most importantly, gives PocketPair even more time to strengthen their freaking counter-arguments. The judge, Motoyuki Nakashima, now has to balance the fact that Japan's patent office already thinks Nintendo's innovation claims are, they're recycled. And let's be honest, gamers and gamerettes, PocketPair doesn't even need to win outright, they just need to outlast. Every time Nintendo delays or gets embarrassed in court, Palworld's underdog indie versus corporate giant narrative grows stronger, and the internet freaking loves that. Nintendo might still appeal, amend, or double down, but no matter what, they've already taken a major credibility hit, and in public opinion, that's fatal. Because while Nintendo's lawyers are writing 60-page rebuters, PocketPair's developers are adding jetpacks to llamas
and selling millions of copies.
Here is where the lawsuit starts feeling less like a legal battle and more like a live-action sitcom called Nintendo's Patent Panic. Because as it stands, the case has turned into a marathon that nobody wanted to run, least of all Nintendo's lawyers. Let's break it down, guys. The court case is officially projected to drag on well into 2026, meaning this drama will outlive multiple Pokémon DLC cycles. Nintendo has until late December 2025 to appeal or amend their rejected patent number 2024-031879. The other core patent in question, JP75283990, the one about creature right switching, is currently being amended mid-lawsuit. So what does this all amount to? Well, it's like rewriting your final exam while the professor's grading it.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
The reason this matters so much is because patents are like a Jenga tower. If one block falls, the rest start wobbling. When Japan's patent office declared one of Nintendo's key patents on original, they didn't just pull out a random piece. They kicked the whole table. And now, every related patent in Nintendo's creature captor family, including JP7493117 and JP7545191, is under fresh scrutiny. Because guys, if you really think about it, if the child patent lacks originality, the parent and siblings start looking suspiciously like glorified sequels. And what's worse, Nintendo's credibility in court takes a freaking nosedive. It's hard to argue that Palworld infringed on your groundbreaking innovation when the government guys, just told you that your groundbreaking innovation came from Monster Hunter 4. Mueller, whatever his name is, summed it up best. This rejection undermines the structural integrity of Nintendo's broader patent
framework.
And while Nintendo scrambles to reward patents and appeal rejections, PocketPair sitting in the corner with popcorn, watching the giant rip over its own paperwork. Every headline that reads Nintendo patent rejection is free marketing for Palworld. And guys, the longer this drags on, the worse it gets for Nintendo, because each delay, amendment, and rejection reinforces the idea that their case isn't about originality, it's about freaking control. It paints Nintendo not as innovators, guys, but as corporate gatekeepers trying to patent genre conventions. If that sticks in the public consciousness, the damage is permanent. You can't sue your way out of a reputation as the fun police, especially when your own games like Pokemon GO are being used as prior art against you. Even if Nintendo somehow by some miracle wins a partial victory, they've already lost the narrative, because the moment the Japan Patent Office said this isn't original, the internet heard Nintendo tried to patent existing gameplay. And that's bad, guys. That's freaking bad. That's a terrible look for a company that once defined creativity. So, like, you must be asking yourself, what's the real future here? Well, realistically, Nintendo's got 3 paths. Number 1, appeal the rejection and pray the examiner had an off day. Number 2, amend the patent wording until it's vague enough to pass but useless in court. And finally, number 3, which is the most reasonable one, Nintendo, just freaking do it. Drop it quietly and pretend the whole thing never happened. Which, come on, let's be honest, guys. Nintendo, this is literally the smartest move. Because, like, they're not using their brains. Like, the more they fight it, the more Palworld benefits. The more they delay, the more time PocketPair has to grow, innovate, and expand their player base. Ironically, because, like, becoming everything Nintendo claims to protect. Creative, independent, and unfreaking afraid. So yeah, this lawsuit was supposed to be Nintendo's show of dominance. Instead, it's turning into a masterclass on how to legally self-destruct while your opponent builds an empire out of freak memes.
Pokemon with guns.
And that's where we are, gamers and gamerettes. Nintendo tried to patent a game mechanic older than the concept of friendship, got rejected by their own country's patent office, and accidentally gave Palworld its best PR campaign since
Pokemon with guns.
Patent number 2024-031879 was meant to be Nintendo's silver bullet, proof that they invented the sacred art of catching things and riding them. Instead, it turned into a boomerang that hit them square in the freaking face. Let's be brutally honest, guys, this isn't about protecting innovation, it's about protecting dominance. Nintendo doesn't want Palworld to exist not because it copied them, but because it proved the formula still works without them. And the sweet, bitter irony, if Nintendo wins, it proves that creativity belongs to whoever has the most lawyers. But if they lose, and right now it looks like they are losing, it could reshape gaming law entirely. Future developers might actually cite Palworld versus Nintendo as a precedent that game mechanics aren't patentable, only specific implementations are. That's huge. So maybe, just maybe, this whole fiasco ends up being good for gaming as a whole. Nintendo might limp away licking its legal wounds, but the rest of the industry will breathe a sigh of relief knowing the patent monster can actually bleed. And finally, the only thing Nintendo successfully captured wasn't Palworld.
It was global embarrassment.
Who are you guys with? Are you with Team Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, or yes, are you with Team Palworld? Let's go Palworld! Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Or I will release my cat with a bazooka on you.
And guys, thank you once again for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content in the future. Take care and I'll see you in the next one.